Hello and welcome to the an amazing podcast. Jesus Christ, it's been so long I almost flubbed the intro. I am the critique curse D.
I am the Nanami fan curse Modi.
Hi, I'm Matamaru. I'm just a normal guy.
Perfect. And we are...
I'm gonna be one of the randos who gets transformed into like a weird demon. That's right, go on.
You could do so much better, man. I believe in you. You could be the guy who talks on the cell phone and drives people everywhere.
I always aspire to be him.
And we are talking about we are doing the delayed recap of Jujutsu Chainsaw Kaisen. Episode 5 to 12, the Shibuya incident. And I'm not gonna lie, I am really enjoying the season. They did my boy Mekamaru absolutely dirty, and I have so many questions about the logistics of this universe, but overall, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Love the Mekamaru versus Mahito fight, despite Mekamaru thinking he was the main character for some reason. I really liked the whole initial Gojo subway sequence. I like how the villains have actual plans instead of just having a revolving door of just meat shields to send at the main characters. I love the fight scene between Yuji and Megumi versus Jim, Chad, Mario. And Nanami's awesome. Nanami's best boy. Nanami's daddy.
I also, I loved it. This is just great. My only thing, we'll get into the details of what I liked and didn't like specifically, but one thing that I'm thinking of right now that's at the front of my mind is leading up to the Shibuya incident in the anime, and while it was going on in the manga, I've heard people say that the Shibuya incident is one of the top shonen arcs that should go along the likes of like Chimera Ant arc in Hunter x Hunter, or the Pain arc in Naruto, or like Marineford arc in One Piece. This arc is great. It's very good, but so far I'm not seeing that. Like, I'm really not.
Anime fans overhyping something? What?
I guess that's true. Okay, that's true.
The best arc that is
sorry, I'll let you go, but I'll say, D, that is true. Good point. But also, I actually haven't heard, like, I don't think anime fans actually say that lightly. Like, I don't see many people compare stuff to like the top shonen arcs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But people really love Jujutsu Kaisen, so I guess maybe that's why. And I mean, I don't know. We're not done with the arc yet, so maybe I'll agree with it by the time we're done.
I mean, I would say that, but what was it? Kaburabachi exists, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kagurabashi is already the best thing that's ever graced the pages of Shonen Jump 3 chapters in. Like
those first 3 chapters are the peak Shonen arc right there.
What do you think, Matt, overall?
When people mention this as the best arc of like all anime, do they like also mention like all the fights with like the cricket guy or the like you said, buff Mario guy, or like do they mention all those like other like little fights that I feel like honestly could have been cut?
Are you saying the cricket fight could have been cut? He was so clever.
Yeah, I forgot that was his thing. I I don't know. I feel like those kind of weigh it down. I think I was really getting into it at first, especially with the whole... I mean, they did the whole thing where it's like 7 o'clock, Gojo takes a shit. And that was like all cool and stuff, but I don't know. It's like very slow. It's been very slow.
Wow. I'm proud of you.
I think
I can see why he says that. I think if someone doesn't enjoy the fights that much, then I can see how it feels slow, because technically the plot is moving pretty slowly. Mm-hmm. But for me, I've been so like enraptured in the fights that I haven't even really thought about it. But now that he says it, I do think he's right.
See,
my two favorite things. One is maybe my two favorite scenes in this like entire episodes that we watch are one the part where Nanami beats the shit out of that annoying ponytailed guy. I fucking hate him so much.
I know.
So cathartic
oh
to
my
see.
god.
I felt you when I was watching that. I felt you so much right there.
By the way, okay, I'm gonna
No, I
take
was
this.
cheering on so much.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
this time to do a public apology to the entire world because I'm pretty sure when this guy first showed up in season 1, I don't know if you guys remember when we were reviewing it. You guys were all like, "God, I hate this guy. I hate this guy," and I think I was like, I actually kind of like him. I take that back completely. Okay. I take it back.
So annoying. Oh, he's like Mojito, like all the problems I have with Mojito, but like turned up 5 times the amount.
Yeah.
I hate him so
Are you?
much.
How dare you? Okay, he helped Nanami redecorate that entire mall. Okay, he's a hero.
Oh my god. I hope he's dead. I hope he doesn't come back.
What was the second
But
thing?
my second favorite scene was at the very beginning of the arc, where they're trying to get what's his name? Wolf Boy a date. No, not Wolf Boy,
Yuji.
Yuji. They're trying to get Yuji a date.
Oh yeah.
That's my other favorite
Same.
part.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm really confused by it because it kind of just seemed random. But
Yeah.
I like it. It's funny I could appreciate I would appreciate it if there were more moments like that. Because I liked it in itself as a moment, but when I take into account the context of like the series, I don't like it because I feel like it's not that kind of thing doesn't happen often enough. You know what I mean? So like the fact that it doesn't happen a lot just makes it kind of jarring. But like I would want it to happen, but I want it to happen more, you know?
That's what we're really missing with the show, I think, is there's not enough like moments. I felt the same way about Chainsaw Man. I think it's kind of like a problem I'm having with this particular genre of shonen. Is there's like not enough moments for the characters to get kind of just like do character stuff together and like build on relationships. I think Jujutsu Kaisen during the first season, one of the advantages it had, it was like a really small thing, but I think it added a lot, was the little after credits
Oh,
scene,
totally.
Yes.
where they were just like doing different characters. Those were my favorite parts of each episode, and they're really missing here. I'm really sad that they didn't come back, because I am like, there's so much you could do about it. If you had like a little thing with Mekamaru, like during the episode in which he dies, that would have been so sad.
I know,
I
right?
think
They didn't.
I think you make like a good observation that like shonen in general doesn't spend as much time on that kind of thing. And I mean, to be fair, when they do, people get mad. Like My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia spent like, you know, had a lot more of that than the typical shonen. People hated it. But that's another thing.
I think the biggest issue for me is people treat it like you're either doing the fights or you're doing the character stuff. But I really feel like you could merge those together sometimes. Like, take some of the moments when you're doing an exposition dump for like a character's special move or something, and just have that have the two characters bounce off of each other.
So, yeah. And okay, so I'll say two things. One is that I think One Piece actually does a decent job of that, of what you're saying. But back to the other thing is overall, yeah, I think you're right. I think shonen in general does a bad job of that. But I think Jujutsu Kaisen is especially bad in terms of that compared to other series. Like, because Jujutsu Kaisen definitely feels like, I know you're just saying it feels slow, but like within this plot right now it feels slow, but like on the grand scheme it feels fast. And I think a big part of that is because there just isn't time for like the relationships between people to like grow and develop, and just like, yeah, you know.
Because that's my biggest issue with
and you're right.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say that like the way that Dee said too, like they kind of like pen off the character moments to be separate from the fight moments. Whereas like, you could tell a lot about a character, and you could do like a lot of character building using fights, but for these it seems more focused on like this character's powers, and that's why like with stuff like with like you said, Buff Mario or whatever, or the cricket guy, it's like we spend so much time on these like really nothing characters that we're not even doing anything with, just to like add interest into the fight, when I don't know, I didn't really care about them that
Okay,
much.
I swear to God, for Buff Mario, I like when they revealed that his power is like the harder you hit him, the more the damage gets inverted. I really want a scene where it's just like Megumi and Yuji just lightly slapping him to death.
That was hilarious. Where he goes to the punch, stops, and then just fully goes for it.
It would be so iconic.
I
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just say one quick thing. It would be so iconic if like they did like the inverse of like the Jojo Aura thing for like multiple pages, where it's just them whispering Aura for like a couple pages while they slap him lightly. That would be just as iconic, honestly, if they did that.
Like, I thought the way they solved it was fun. Like that's the thing. I thought like the whole sequence was fun. I just wish it was with against a character I had more information about, because we were just introduced to this guy and I don't really care about him.
It felt
and I guess the more
it felt artificial, you know, like it just and overall, that's how it's going to be in shonen, where like you're going to have fights that don't necessarily need to be there for any other reason than just to have smaller fights that big up to the big fight. But like I said, I do think most other series don't do as bad of a job as Jujutsu Kaisen. It's funny how this is kind of turning into a negative review for me, but like I loved it. Yeah, this is there's a lot of good stuff I want to talk about for these episodes. But yeah, like I agree with you. Yeah,
I do think for me the biggest issue is a lot like a lot of shonen, especially shonen I like, have like the revolving monster of the week thing going. But I think for me the biggest issue I have with Jujutsu Kaisen is they all look so boring. Like oh my god, we had like if you look at One Piece, it's just like, oh man, he's covered in a giant like frying pan armor and he's fighting his evil long-legged twin brother or some random BS like that. But it's like, oh yeah, I'm a dude in a hoodie, or like, oh yeah, I'm an old lady and this is my grandson, or like, oh, I'm a giant grasshopper. Like all of the, I'm gonna call them villains. They feel so disposable, and it's like they never leave an impact, especially from a design perspective. So they don't even give you a good like eye candy aspect of them.
I'm completely
It just wastes time. Sorry, go on.
I'm completely opposite from you on that. I think I much prefer, like, that's one of the things, like, I mean, although I like that, like, the craziness of One Piece, like, sometimes it's just so goofy to me, like, when you just have, like, such weird character designs, and, like, I guess overall I'm more inclined, like, I like things that are a little bit more low-key, and I guess more serious, and so, like, for me, when the villains aren't, like, you know, when they don't have these crazy character designs, I like it like that. And also to be fair to Jujutsu Kaisen, that is the kind of world that it has built up. Like, you wouldn't really expect it from that world. Like, it's a pretty serious, and it's I feel like it's supposed to be realistic, you know, if you disregard all the unrealistic things. So like it makes sense to me that, you know, it would be like that.
They got no drip, man. They have no drip.
I feel like that's why certain moments in this arc do work. Like, I actually felt like a little bit bad for Nanami, because I actually liked Nanami from like the previous arc, or not Nanami, sorry, the
Hanami.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I know.
Like Gojo and Jogo.
Yeah. Oh my god, the plant person.
Yeah.
I actually felt like a little bit bad for them, and I like Jogo as a character too. I think he's fun. And like I think that's why the Nanami thing also works. Is like we know Nanami and how like reserved he normally is, and like he's pissed off that like someone he knew died, and like at the same time we were seeing Ponytail person like actively torturing like a character we care about. It's like that adds like extra stakes to the fight, that add like a little bit more interest, other than like, Yuji has to like clear the mini boss before getting to like the actual boss, and it's like
I love that.
there's like a lot more in the other one, you
I
know.
love that scene of Nanami entering. Like, I know, like one thing I love is like they were really reserved with the music on that one, but bruh, I didn't hear boss music playing when Nanami entered, but I felt boss music playing.
I know,
I
right?
smelled the boss music. I tasted the boss music.
Have you guys seen like everything with like all the Jujutsu Kaisen fangirls just going rabid over that one scene? Like legit, like
especially him pulling the ponytail.
I've never seen such levels of horniness from anime fans like since in a long time. Like so I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, honestly, I can't lie. Like Nanami was just such a boss. Like I have to admit, you know.
Real quick before we continue on like the Shibuya arc, do we even finish talking about the flashback?
We didn't.
Can I talk about real quick how okay, I didn't watch the movies, so like if you guys can help fill in stuff. I am so confused the jump Geto went from being like literally he like someone came over is like, yeah, there would be less demons if like humans were less happy, so that therefore let's kill all of the humans.
No, it was.
It's such a ridiculous jump.
Okay. Okay, it's even worse because it was like, oh man, she just casually mentions like, oh man, if we just got rid of all the humans, like there'd be no demons. And he just quietly gets up and walks away. I'm just like, I was really hoping, like, it was a moment where it's like, man, I wish shows like this didn't take themselves so seriously because this had such perfect comedic timing to it.
That's your intrusive thoughts winning hard right there. Like,
no, like, okay, so I have two things to say about the first thing. Okay, the way the story is told is not optimal. Like, as soon as like the first season should have ended, I think they should have had a movie for the flashback arc, and then have the Jujutsu Kaisen movie come out right after it, because it literally covers the events that happen after that arc. That way we can have a clear understanding of what's going on and what events led to what. But the problem
wait,
is...
can I ask a question?
Yep.
What happens? I haven't seen the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, so what is that about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Do
my
I need
God.
to see that to understand things?
Apparently they killed Geto in that movie.
Oh,
and that's why they keep saying,
he's
you're
dead.
supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
So wait, is it canon, and is it like part of the manga?
It's super canon. It's literally the first like 5 chapters of the manga.
Oh,
like,
wow! I didn't know. I have to watch that. Okay.
Like the characters from the movie show up later in the manga. Apparently, essentially, it's like Okay, so it's honestly really hilarious because you were like, you were talking about a jump for Geto, going from like the Jujutsu Kaisen whatchamacallit, the flashback arc to the movie. It's so hilarious because Geto is so unbelievably racist towards humans. In that arc, like, there were literally compilations of him just calling random people monkeys. There's like this moment where he's talking to investors for his like cult, and he's just like, no, I don't like your name. I'm going to name you like Mr. Monkey or something like that. And there's like a moment where they're leaving, and he just like pulls out some like disinfectant and starts spraying the monkey scent off him. Every single word, he punctuates every single sentence with like, those filthy monkeys, those damn monkeys. So like,
wait, is this in the movie?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Sorry, keep going.
It's so wild because you'd think you would learn the opposite lesson, or I thought they were gonna go a direction where he's like, he wants, in order to get rid of demons, he wants to create like an ultra, like super positive society, but will take any means to do so, or something like that. Like, I don't. It's so weird.
Honestly, I thought it would be the kind of thing where it's just like, we need to get rid of all human life and just remake everything as demons almost. But like, I love it too that they revealed that he was being brainwashed. He was being like puppeted by something, because like, the anime Geto is so much nicer and tolerant than real Geto.
Okay, how? Because I haven't seen any, like he hasn't really done anything. So what should he have done that would be make him like just as racist as the movie version?
Just have like every single one of his, like every single line out of his mouth be about how much he hates monkeys.
Okay, I see.
He's just dropping.
Yeah.
slurs,
Gotcha.
Like, every single line.
Gotcha.
He's like a really classy COD player. Which again, it's like a human didn't screw him over. It was like a freaking like fellow wizard. Like okay,
True.
if you had the bad part is I could kind of see it because like the way his power works, him having to just like eat cursed spirits nonstop, take care of him, makes a lot of sense because he's actively suffering and going through hell to solve a problem for them. But at the exact same time, him just straight up wanting to commit mass genocide is such a leap from this random like how is the I forgot her name girl any less like any more human than Megumi's dad?
Yeah, I mean, even that, like, I just don't yeah, it's funny because I didn't think about that at all. This whole time I have not considered the fact that all of this started because of something a sorcerer did, not a human. So why is he, yeah, you're right, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Also, I love how like he just strolled up into that cult, killed the leader, and everyone was just like, well, all hail the new prince.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to get super into it, but in general, I feel really weird about how the narrative is about demons in general. They're called demons, right?
Curses.
Because they have their own like aspirations and like goals and personalities and stuff. It's like how much of like people are they?
That's the interesting thing. Cause like, yeah, they are pretty human for the most part. Like, it's almost like a question of like, if you took a random curse and you raised it properly, like, could you make it like a productive member of society? Like, do you think Mahito could hold down a 9-to-5 job?
Wait, I don't understand why you
Yeah.
guys think that, because they're curses. Like, they're just pure negativity. I don't think they could be raised
but
positive.
We've shown them like display other stuff than just like be able to like play card games and do and have like goals like
And care about one
I'm
another.
pretty sure Hanami just wanted to like was just mad that the forest was getting fucked over, like if I remember that correctly. And it's like it's weird their decision to portray some demons as like more than just like mindless monsters, which like makes me feel weird about sometimes like some of the because even like Yuji brings up is like, oh, these people used to be like human or whatever, or I guess he's talking about the monsters, but I don't know, I feel like there's some like moral stuff there
I feel like
that like we don't have to get into because this is just like, you know, a shonen anime, but I just think it's interesting.
that is something I definitely feel like it could have dove into, but I definitely think they're kind of treating them like well-rounded, one-dimensional bad guys, kind of like they care about each other, but at the end of the day, they are kind of like evil. But also, okay, you know what? I will say this: this is probably the best-looking evil organization to ever work for. I'm sorry, like I was watching Bleach, and the main like bad guy just nukes half his forces. I was watching Demon Slayer, and the main villain is just like, literally verbally abusing his like underlings. Like, these guys hang out in like fancy beaches. They have great like
That's so
vacation homes. They have freaking
They
game
use
night.
they use democracy to make decisions.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how much do you want to bet?
They're
like,
just really chill. Honestly, wait a minute. Is it really that bad? Are the curse spirits really that bad?
like
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's also weird for them to be like the out group as well. It's not like they're like
Okay,
in charge. Like they're responding to not being able to fit in because literally, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Joko says this, but I feel like one of the demons is like, I just want to like exist. Like I don't know.
I don't think so. That's not how I see it, at least. The way I see it is they're cursed spirits born of like negative energy and curses and whatnot, and they are fundamentally, I think they are fundamentally anti-human, and they see themselves, they're similar to, I think the only similarity in human is just that like intelligence, but I don't think that indicates humanity in them. I think they're just like, the best analogy is they're just like different races that hate each other.
Honestly,
well, that's what I'm saying when it starts to get messy when you go into like this sort of meta analysis into this of like you have a group of like terrorists who are purely evil because they're just like manifested and born evil.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like that is such a bad thing to be left on the shelf because you could like get into the whole like moral argument. I wonder if they are going to acknowledge that because like you have Gojo's like Jogo saying like, "Oh, we are the true humans. We are more human than any of you," and that would be interesting if you have like Yuji, who does have like the hero complex, who does have like issues with killing, kind of like have to deal with the fact that like these things are fundamentally human. And these things are born from humans.
Yeah.
Also, do you think Geto offers a 401k? Do you think they have benefits?
Yes, I unironically do. He seems like he would.
Hey, you could literally get risen from the grave if you're joining the bad guys. You could be what's his name, the wormed guy.
They have better health insurance than the
Just possess the dude. Yeah.
They have better health insurance than the main characters.
Controversial take. I didn't like the Mechamaru fight.
Bastard.
I thought okay. I know a lot of ridiculous stuff happens in anime. For some reason, a giant mecha was too much for me.
Okay.
It felt like a different genre of ridiculousness.
I love it because it has the same energy of like being in like a super strict martial arts series and a dude just pulling out a gun. I love how like heel turny it is, and honestly, I really wish. My one issue with it is how do they explain that away? How deep does the government run with this? Like, can you imagine being like that one contractor who's just like doing an inspection of a dam, and all of a sudden a giant robot just explodes out of it?
Mechamaru could have been doing the sorcerers are so understaffed and shit all of the time. Mechamaru could have like revolutionized like how society works. The fact that he built a giant mech underneath a dam with a box of scraps is astonishing. It's not even just like I made a giant wooden mech. It's like I made just a fully sci-fi mech out of like technology that doesn't exist yet. I know I'm overanalyzing it, but like this is like a really like I can't take this seriously.
He had holograms. Like he had a futuristic UI system.
He had a futuristic UI system, and I feel like that kind of goes against like Mechamaru's appeal of like he's like a wooden puppet robot type guy, and it's just like.
Like, motherfucker was just, like... I feel like half of this stuff could have been solved. Like, can you imagine how the Shibuya arc would have gone if he wasn't stupid and just didn't, like... Like, there's a scene where, like, Mahito and, like, Geto were just ready to let him go. Can you imagine how that would have gone if he just, instead of making the one giant robot, he just made an army of smaller metal robots instead of, like, Mechamaru?
He had a good amount of robot. He could have easily just, like... In general, the way the sorcerers could have run is just be like, oh, there's like a demons in this area. I'm just gonna send like 50 mechs out there.
Can you imagine how?
Or even just like 2. Like they're capable enough.
Like, can you imagine how crazy that would be? Like, imagine you're just like walking along the street and you just see like a robot just Iron Man his way down and start punching an invisible ghost or something like that. Like, I swear to God. I love that fight, but I really wish they didn't kill off. Like, I'm happy they're doing more with him, but I really wish they didn't kill him off because there's so much story potential you could have gone with that. And he had a cool-ass giant robot, okay?
I'm really confused about Mechamaru as a character. Like, I kind of feel a similar way. Like, because at first, when he was introduced in Season 1, I didn't really think much of him, and I thought he would just be like a throwaway side character. But then he turns up being like really cool only to die. And it's just like, why? What was the point of any of that? Like, if he was just going to die, then yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Like, it almost feels like, when writing it, the author put a little bit too much effort into like Mechamaru's fight than what was actually needed. for the story. But I don't know, unless he comes back to life, then maybe we can start talking. But like, if he stays dead after this, and it's just like the whole thing was just very weird.
Honestly,
well, that's the whole thing too. Is like, why? What? I don't. This isn't the only anime to do this. Why waste the whole idea of a spy or having a turncoat? Why do they always waste this idea on some like random ass like side character who's like, oh yeah, this guy that you have very little attachment to, yeah, he was betraying them. Ooh, that causes so much. That does nothing for me at least, because it's like, well, Bekamara wasn't really a character in the first place. Like, you're essentially introducing him as the traitor. Like, if Beckamaru was more of like an established character before this, I feel like this moment would have had like a lot more impact and just be like, yeah, I kind of figured it was him probably. Like,
honestly, if they had like kept him alive and had him actually deal with the repercussions of doing that, that would have been even more interesting.
Maybe we're speaking too soon.
Yeah.
Maybe he will be kept alive, because it seems like there is kind of like a plot thread with because he likes that blue-haired girl. I forgot what her name is. So maybe that's gonna come into play some way somehow. And yeah, I mean, this is not the type of series where I'd be surprised if someone came back from the dead. So
Also, how old
well, that's
is...
another problem with her, you know?
Also, how old is Mekamaru? Because he had like 17 years worth of energy stored up from this, like, for this one moment. Also, what the hell, man? You had 17 years of prep time for something, for like this. Were you playing this as you were like a toddler?
Literally straight out the womb. He was just ready to go. You know?
He's still stupid.
Yeah. God, I would love, like, I really want to do, if I can ever get a show, I want to have, like, a boss fight, like, a villain boss fight where it's, like, a similar kind of, like, giant robot thing, but instead of, like, being years of energy, it's fighting using, like, taxpayer money, so, like, he gets ready for, like, a huge finishing move, and you just see all the lights at all the retirement homes just turning off. Like, he's about to do another move, and then all of a sudden, like, you have, like, government agents, like, taking, like, food from all the poor students in it, like elementary school students.
I would have even thought it'd be interesting for like the reason why like the sorcerers are kind of like at a disadvantage is because you can explain that like Mekamaru's power is like very special, so like a lot of just the regular like staff or workers there are just like different robots or like something like that, like very like, you know, do menial task stuff. Or like he has like a full like surveillance on that area as like a guy behind that. Like, I don't know. And that would have also added stakes to be like, okay, well, our entire like organization has been compromised at this point, and that's how they were able to get like a one up on us.
This motherfucker could have just had another Mekamaru piloting the giant robot, and he could have just ran away from that entire. I love how he even took the time to like get a change of clothes going before even getting to the giant robot too.
Well, the idea was he wanted Mahito to heal his body, which, by the way, I think if you have the tech skill to make it a giant ass, do they not have any like healers on their team?
I think he was just. Like, I think his body was just so effed up. Like regular healers couldn't do it, and Mahito was like the only person who had like the body magic to switch it up. But I think they explained something about that.
There's like an interesting story there that, again, I wish he was an actual character for him to explore more, of him being like, I can't really be a person. Like, I'm not really treated as a person because I can't actually be there with people. I can't like, I'm just in this stinky pod the entire time. And it's like, that could give him like a lot of reasons to like turn on the sorcerers and stuff
completely.
Like that. But I don't think they really explore any of that.
God. But
yeah,
okay. How'd you feel about the?
So let's be positive.
How'd you feel about the subway fight with Gojo?
He likes standing around while people are just dying.
I mean, what could he do though?
This man loves life. I don't know, like punch. It was just funny to see people like standing there and like as a static image, getting like fucking blown up. Like 20 people just blown up. People just like, shit. What do I do? What do I do?
Not my problem. Not my problem. I didn't kill them.
Well, no, that's the thing. He wasn't even like that. He was just like, he had a blank stare of like, oh man.
That's some more paperwork for me.
One thing I think about that fight is honestly, I have to give props to Hanami and Jogo for being brave enough to to go up against
Oh my
Gojo
god,
again.
yeah.
Like, oh my god, rest in peace, Hanami. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I'm so sorry he had to do that to you. That's
Listen, they
crazy.
had.
I actually felt bad.
You know what the funny part
Yeah.
about that is?
What?
Hanami is a centuries old like nature deity, and for some reason, Japanese concrete was more durable than them. I also love the fact that like, listen. I'll say this: Hanami had a female voice, but man, did they have some balls going up against Gojo.
Yeah, no, because like they like I think just to go up against Gojo, these people in this world know even more about how scary Gojo is than we do. So like anyone who does that is just like, yeah, I have to give them respect, you know. It is what it is. I really like the detail about how like at first when the fight starts, they seem confident, right? I was already giving them props for that because especially Jogo, he had already gotten murked by Gojo. So like, yeah, so the fact that he was like able to not only face Gojo again, but like, you know, put up a strong front, which I mean, I believed. I thought he was actually just confident. But then when Hanami dies, that kind of like falls away and you see like, oh, he's actually like spooked. Like he's really scared, right? And he's like running around like, you know, trying to maintain a certain distance with Jogo. And he's like, I forgot the name of the other dude, but he was like, hey, you better not just be standing around. Like you better be helping with this fight, right? Like he's actually scared. You know, he's like, how are we going to, you know, contain him for 20 minutes? So I really like that. Like all of that really, in a lot of series, they'll just say a character's, you know, the strongest up until they have one big fight towards the end of the series, proving that they are the strongest because they did very well in that fight. But like with Gojo, they, in a lot of like big and small ways, they like really get it into your head that Gojo really is the strongest, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that they don't kill Jogo anytime soon, the fire guy.
Yeah, I like him.
Because he's like, right now he's my favorite villain, and I'm going to be really upset if I have to deal with like a bunch of edgelords who are like, I don't care, I'm so quirky. I'm going to be so annoyed if that's going to be all the villains, because I need somebody to crown me.
I know.
Or like
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like the whole like sort of philosophical discussion they were talking about of like, it wasn't philosophical, whatever. Of like, they all want to kill Yuji for different reasons, or they all want to hunt down Yuji for different reasons.
Yeah.
So like, kind of like having a contest to see who can get to him first, I guess.
Yeah.
Damn, Geto is such a chill boss, you know. Like, and like every other anime like antagonist would have been like, "No, follow my orders or die." But this is just like, yeah, like,
do
have
whatever.
fun, you guys. You gotta work hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, yeah.
Okay, this is going to be a long shot, but by any chance, can one of you guys explain to me what was going on when Gojo did his infinite void and he had to like save all the people in 0.2 seconds or whatever? Like I didn't really understand what was going on there.
So 0.2 seconds was like the limit an average human could survive being hit by his like domain expansion. So he can only open it. He only had 0.2 seconds to open the domain, stun everyone, and then kill everything before like he had to reclose it to stop all the other humans from like going brain dead.
Okay, so then what did they mean towards the end of that then when they're like, all of this took Gojo 299 seconds? Because that was where I got tripped up because I was like, wasn't it 0.2 seconds?
I think it might have just been like a translation or something, but I think it was like the whole point was like he turned on his domain expansion for like a fraction amount of time just so he couldn't like turn everyone in there into a vegetable.
Okay, all right. All right, that makes sense.
Which I thought was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, this fight was like so. Okay, so now that we've gotten a good way into season 2, I want to re-examine the allegations that Jujutsu Kaisen is turning into Hunter x Hunter, and I have to say that it's true. It is turning into Hunter x Hunter, and it's turning to Hunter x Hunter for the better. Okay, I like it.
Yeah,
I like this. Even the thing about Hunter x Hunter, like if I could think of one way to characterize it, is that like it's games, like it turns like everything into a game, right? And even the thing you were talking about, where they're like, they all have different reasons that they want to go after Yuji, and like they're like, okay, well, let's race to see who gets there first, right? Turning even that into a game. I like that a lot.
we have to show Matthew the like manga page from Hunter x Hunter where it's just a giant, where like it's literally a full text page of exposition, no like literal. It's like a full manga. It's literally like a full manga chapter, but then you turn the page and it's just like an entire page worth of exposition. But yeah, I do like that a lot. It definitely feels like a much more streamlined Hunter x Hunter, where you do have this really detailed like power system. Although I do feel like it has the issue where a lot of these powers are a little too complicated to the point where you can't really like visualize it well. Because like when they were like fighting Buff Mario, it's just like, yes, my power is you can't hit me too hard, but not too soft. Wah! And it's just like,
Yeah.
That's not an interest. It's just not an interesting power, kind of. Like,
Really?
I would have liked it if he was just like.
I thought that was really interesting.
I don't know, because I would have liked it better if he was just like really strong or something like that, and it was just a straight up martial arts fight. Because I don't know, when you look at like JoJo powers and everything, where it's just like, I give you money if you don't spend it in time, you turn into a tree, or like you have all these like really visually interesting powers.
Oh, okay.
Whereas like you have these things where you have to like literally sit down and explain, and I don't think it really adds anything to it.
What do you think about it, Matt?
With all the powers and stuff?
The Buff Mario guy fight and the power and like, yeah, that fight. I know you already said you thought it was pointless, but like the fight itself, the mechanics of the fight.
I thought the fight itself was cool. I think my only issue is like kind of knowing how the show is. And I think this is kind of I think calling it complicated is like not a good word for it. I think it's just more so they keep having like new characters with new mechanics, so they need to like explain during the fight. I guess it's kind of the part of the fun is like having them figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think it could be like an interesting power that you could do stuff with. I feel like too often in stuff like this they don't really like do stuff in creative ways like later on. You just kind of get like a little taste of this character and what they can do, and then we like move on.
So I think my biggest issue with it is it has this there's this really complicated magic system, and I won't even say complicated. I would say convoluted, because I feel like if you want to do something like this, it's interesting when you have clear rules and regulations and how powers work. Like the whole like, oh, if you tell me your special move, if you explain your power to me, it gives you a power boost and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. But then when it has like these entire, like this arc feels like it's either half just explaining shit or half of it's like also, it's just fight scenes.
Mm.
Well, I guess it's more so how are you using the like what you're describing is like in those other shows is like them using powers in like to create something that's like fun and interesting. And I think like it does kind of do that. Like I was like a little bit engaged with that, and I thought it was like it was like an interesting idea. It's just like I saw the thought in the back of my mind is like we're just kind of like wasting time here. I'm more interested to see if Jesse Pinkman survived or not.
For me, I would say.
I'm as you said, I can't get that out of my head now. Dang it.
I think I kind of agree with both of you. Maybe I think in the grand scheme, yeah, in the back of my mind too, I was thinking that this fight is kind of like I could tell that this fight wasn't really like important, and it was kind of in a way you could say pointless. But pretty much the rest of my mind was just so focused on the fight that it's like what I said earlier. Like I didn't really notice the pacing, quote unquote, problem because I was like really caught up in the fights. And I thought for me, this fight hits the Goldilocks zone of not having powers that are so complicated and require so long to explain that it ruins the actual momentum of the fight. It was simple enough that you could explain it easily and understand it like pretty easily, but still interesting enough to make the fight like interesting, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, there's like a balance to hit, right? Because if you make it way too complicated, then you could have like a intricate fight, but you know, you might lose a lot of the momentum. But I feel like this really hit the sweet spot. I really like the fight.
Oh yeah.
I think it would have been better in like maybe a different arc.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like I might have been more like inclined towards it. Oh my god, my cat's meowing weirdly. Anyways, I would have been more inclined to it. Because like this arc feels like a very serious one where like a bunch of characters are starting to drop, and I think I know what's going to happen like towards the end of it. But so like when you have these moments with like Cricket Man or Mario, it's like a little bit more like I don't know, there's other interesting stuff going on. And if it was like more of like, okay, this arc we're spending to develop more time with like Yuji and friends, and they have to fight a bunch of bad guys who are trying to take over this, you know, something like that.
You know what I just figured out? I just figured out why earlier I said that Jujutsu Kaisen does this thing worse than other shonen, like this pacing thing. It's because in other series, even when there are like the mini boss fights leading up to the main fight, whether it's the main character or not, especially if it's the main character, there is always going to be some aspect of improving for the main character, or like something's happening for the main character because of that fight. But when the main character, like in this one, Yuji just fights this guy and beats him. Yes, he beat him in an interesting, clever way, but like he didn't actually change, you know, as a character because of that fight. Usually, I mean, in shonen, there's not like really big character motivation changes, but like in terms of like strength or like figuring out another aspect of the power system, you know, that doesn't happen. So I think that's what makes it feel hollow. Even though the fight itself is really interesting, I think that aspect of it is what kind of makes it feel hollow compared to some other series.
Well, take like something like Mihawk versus Zoro. Sorry, go on.
No, go for it.
Oh, it takes something like Mihawk versus Zoro. It's like that tells us like a lot about Zoro's character. It tells us a lot about like Mihawk's character. It like says a lot about like both characters while like providing like an interesting fight. And while I think like and it does like serve like a lot for the continuation of the story, but like by the end of this, what it purely was to do, like what this like fight purely served was to distract Yuji from like getting to the main bad guy. But if that's the case, like I don't know how much I'm interested in like going into like all the other like filler in that part of it, because like I feel like the main point of this whole arc is like focused on the villains trying to defeat Gojo.
Yeah, that's true.
So that
now that I think about it, they're like almost done.
Yeah.
They would actually be done if Gojo didn't like get really heavy. That's really, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Actually, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you think this arc is going to end with them freeing Gojo?
Yes. Because simply for meta reasons, because I've heard so many good things about this arc that I'd kind of be surprised if Gojo didn't end up getting set free or something. But I don't know.
I think he's going to die here, actually. That's normally I wouldn't think they would do this. But I feel like we really need to get to because Gojo's such a safety net.
Yep.
That like we really need to have him like Dumbledore's. We really need to have him like out of the picture for like the protagonists and this would be like the best place to do it.
Honestly, if they want to go really hard with it, okay. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I also wonder how far are we going to see Sukuna in this? Because it could be a really interesting thing. Because, okay, so part of me is like, okay, if Gojo dies, what happens to Yuji? Is he still going to go through the plan, or is he just going to get instantly executed? But a really good ending for this arc could be Sukuna gets all the fingers, comes back to life, and then kills Gojo.
I think that's game over at that point, though. I don't know if you can continue the story after that point.
But you have the main character from Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, the movie, the super essential movie that you guys didn't watch.
I don't know if I'm satisfied with Yuji's character yet for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. I definitely do want him to. I would like it if it is the kind of thing where halfway through the series he just goes full Sukuna and he just stops becoming the main character. I think that would be really interesting. But I think they really need to set that up properly for it to really, for them to really pull it off.
Or like Aaron.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Matt?
Yeah. I hate the little child.
Oh.
I've determined that I hate all children in anime.
I
Except
agree.
for maybe like Anya.
Yes.
But I hate this child. I hate his weird relationship with the crow lady.
It's so weird that they're.
Sucks.
It's so weird that they're brother and sister. Like
they are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why they have the same haircut.
I was thinking to myself. Was like, this is. I was almost wondering, it's like, would this be weirder or less weird if they were like mother and son? But because it's like, Mei looks like she's in her 30s at the youngest, and he looks like he's like 10 years old.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it's still possible, but yeah, that's weird. I didn't realize they were siblings. What do you guys think about Mei in general, though?
I like her, but I don't like her design. I don't like I see what they're like. I feel like they're trying to go with the Grudge or like the Ringu hair over the face kind of look, but I don't like the ponytail because I can't tell if she's like walking towards you or walking away, and it's so awkward to look at.
Oh, okay. I like it a lot. I think it's just so funny.
I love the way she was animated, though. I did enjoy that. Like, all the poses she was striking for, like, the fight with the smallpox devil.
Yeah, she was really channeling her inner Jojo there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
But yeah.
If you haven't. Or, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I couldn't have a solid thought on her because the child was there. And I got angry whenever the child would talk. But I think she's fine. Like, not my favorite, but I can see how she's cool.
I like her.
You just like her by proxy of the child.
It made me this whole so far. I've realized that Jujutsu Kaisen probably has, and the competition is not steep, to be fair, but it probably has the best female cast in shonen.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about it, easily.
Oh, totally. Okay, you know what? Yeah. Okay, I want to like bring one thing. I really like. I literally remember this back from when we were talking about the whole like them trying to get Yuji a date. I love the fact that he had like a low key thing for like the chubby girl because it's so in line with his character of liking girls with big butts.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. I didn't even realize that. What's gonna happen with that? First of all, why was that there? Second of all, why was it there in this arc? And third, is there gonna be some follow up? There better be, because if not, this is just so weird. You know.
I will also.
Please don't make it depressing. I just want him to have like a healthy relationship. I don't want any more Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't go the depressing route. That would suck. That would be really annoying.
I wish he maintained the same body proportions because it would have been fun to have like a shonen protagonist who isn't into someone with like the average like traditional like conventional attractiveness.
Yeah, true.
Like it's literally like I like her because of who she is, and that would be such a really fun little relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when I get depressed. I get really skinny and hot.
Mm-hmm. I know, right?
That's what I do, of course. I don't. I'm glad that's working out for her. We should all get depressed.
Listen, my junior year in college, I went from a 5 out of 10 to a straight 9 out of 10. And then I got happy in my senior year. I went back to a 4 out of 10.
Exactly. That's how it works. They should have committed to the, like, a little bit chubby girl. I agree.
What do you guys think about Toji being alive or not? I don't know what's going on with that. What do you guys think about the whole situation with Toji?
I really hope there's a moment where Toji and Megumi meet up, and it's like this dramatic pause, and they're both just like, who the fuck are you? Because, like, Megumi hasn't seen him in years, and Toji forgot he even had a son.
Yeah.
So that would have been such a really fun little, like, cop-out moment. And it's just, like, right at the end of the fight where, like, Megumi's about to, like, land a finishing blow, and he's like, you're my son! Oh my god! And they just have this awkward moment, it's like, oh shit.
Toji's fun. I was fine with him returning.
Yeah.
It was a bad showing from Jesse, though. I kind of wish he had... Because this is, like, the first time we get to see him use his powers and gets his, like, ass kicked. And I'm like...
Wait, who's Jesse?
Completely.
I was really hoping he would do something cool.
He's the dude with the mask
Jesse
who was
Pinkman.
Okay.
tailing, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The dude who was tailing, like, Nanami, who was his assistant and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad. I mean, but he's not dead, so that's good. That means we'll see more of his power later, I guess.
Bro thought he was the main character. I'm sorry. This is happening too much.
Oh, and I can't believe they killed Best Boy. I'm so mad.
Who?
Which one?
The cab driver.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I feel so ashamed of myself for forgetting
Seriously.
that. Yeah, no, that is true. I feel really bad. And I know that's not a death that's going to be brought back, which really sucks.
Yeah.
God, this shit, like, he had so much to offer the plot. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was nice to have a normal ass human being.
Yeah.
With all these weirdos, okay? And then it was like blonde ponytail person of all people too.
Yeah.
I hope they're dead.
I agree. I really do. Like you said, he has all the worst parts of Mahito and none of the tolerable parts.
Yeah, I don't even like Mahito. I really dislike him, and I was disliked that he killed Mekamaru. Not for any legitimate reasons. It's just like I didn't like Mahito, and I don't like him having joy.
I know, right?
In his life.
Like he's literally like Mahito is literally like a wannabe Deadpool. I'm sorry. I'm really hoping we get a scene where after he came out under like Gojo's infinite domain thing, he realizes he's a manga character and starts breaking the fourth wall.
Oh my god. He starts wearing a red suit. He just becomes like Twice from My Hero. Considering Twice is that character.
Yeah, no, completely.
It's just Deadpool, but anime.
Anime pool. It's fun, honestly. Like going back to, I know this is a small tangent, but like that, I think, in that like Doctor Octopus, My Hero Academia spinoff thing, he got to write Deadpool, and he actually wrote him pretty entertainingly, which is honestly not surprising.
Fair enough.
But yeah, yeah, I want to like Mahito. I like his design. I like the crazy characters, but he's making it hard for me. God dang it!
Right now, the only villain that I like is Jogo. I don't really like any of the others.
Same.
I guess maybe Toji. I wouldn't say I like Toji. I think he's cool and interesting, but I don't like him.
I don't think we've seen enough of him for me to care. Jogo, I've seen enough to be like, yeah, I like him.
Mm-hmm. If I had to rank him, I'd probably say Jogo number 1, non-racist Ghetto as number 2, and then Toji is number 2.5.
I really have to see racist Ghetto now. You definitely got my interest.
Woke Ghetto, there we go. Oh my god!
I
just realized. Okay, I'm sorry. I just realized,
you go on. Yeah.
Normal Ghetto was just like abusing his employees. He had this huge cult, and then now, like regular Ghetto, he has like these cozy like villas. He has this nice beach. He has his own hot springs. Like, god damn.
improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, the ponytail guy. I swear he said like, "Oh, so I could kill non-black people now." Or something. He was, like, he was describing the suits, and for a second I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Dude had the dumbest power too. He had like Uncle Esther like sword, like his little Adam family ass sword. Like what the fuck?
Part of me wonders if Gege like saw how much people hated him, and he was like, okay, since people hate him and I'm gonna have to get him out of the story, then I'll just make them hate him even more and like give Nanami a good moment, to do it.
Probably.
Dude like had 2 blonde people in a row just get absolutely wrecked. What the hell? 3 blonde people in a row.
Also Nabaru, she has a skill issue.
Yes.
Because she gets like kicked once and she's like down, and it's like they're like throwing Yuji against like a wall into concrete, or like edgy wolf guy is like thrown miles up into the air and they're just fine.
Yeah, okay.
Listen. She got punched in the chin, okay?
I almost forgot that I wanted to talk about this when it comes to Novara. Is that okay? I really thought if there is any shonen series that I would say yes, this series is gonna like not do the thing where where there's a sizable gap between the main female character and the main male characters, it'll be Jujutsu Kaisen. But that's not true. Like why can't you just make her stronger, man? Like, look at everyone else winning fights, and like, I don't even think Megumi should be like. I don't think his power warrants him being stronger than Novara. Like, I think I just don't get it. Like, why can't you just make her stronger? Like, why not? I want to see her kick ass.
Dude, she got punched in the chin. You can't like get up from that, okay? Like if like Mario wanted to win that fight, he should have just gone for the chin. Like if like said, like
yeah,
it's hacks, man. Like they got her by the chin.
Yeah, definitely. You never see anyone else.
Like, it really doesn't help. It really doesn't help that this guy as well. Like I don't think we've seen him do anything too spectacular. I didn't think of him as like a really like high level like villain.
It's even worse. It's even worse because they specifically say that they make it a point that he likes hunting down weak people, like, and he likes fighting weak people, like. So in his so making him beat Navarro right after that, it's just like, bro, why? Like, why do that? That's really annoying because I really want I want to like her power and like I want to see her have interesting fights, but like, why is she just being used as fodder? Like, I would not expect this from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
You could have even done it in a better way where, like, she is kicking his ass, but he does, like, a really cheap shot where he tries to kill the person she's defending.
Even that I would be okay with.
So she has to, like, get in the way of it and, like, gets, like, seriously injured, Mm-hmm. And then that's when Nanami can come in and, like, kick his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that I would be okay with. I would probably still complain because I still think it's important. Like, I want to see her have wins. Like, especially, like when you have power scaling conversations and stuff, at the end of the day, if a character doesn't win, if they lose, a loss is a loss, right? But yeah, I don't know. And also Mei's fight got skipped too. I was interested in seeing her power. I really like Mei, so yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't say enough. I don't know if I said enough good stuff. I felt like I did too much critiquing. I would just want to say overall, like, all of these fights were so interesting, and I think the best parts, obviously, as they usually do, had to do with Gojo. Like, who would have thought you could make such like a normal, typical trope of like a character being the strongest? You could add so many layers to it and make it so interesting. Like when they showed the flashback, like when they showed the flashback of when he was a kid and like those top assassins, Buff Mario guy and the grandmother, they were like targeting him, and he literally just had to like walk by and look at them, and they just like pissed themselves. Like, damn.
Have a good day. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah. Gojo is great. And yeah, I mean, I'm really loving the Shibuya arc. I'm really excited to see what happens.
The animation is so good. It makes me feel depressed thinking about who has to make it.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I've been seeing on Twitter the last few weeks that the animation. I don't know. People, I need to like just stop actually listening to Twitter because people have been saying that like the animation got really bad after the flashback.
Dude.
But I mean, yes, there has been a drop in quality, but it's still top. Like it's still for an anime, it's still really good. You know, like yeah. Anyway, so animation was really good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anything else, y'all?
No, my rating. I'll just go ahead and give my rating first. I would give it. I can't really. Yeah, I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. I want to say 10, but like I feel like that's overdoing it. I'll just say a 9 out of 10. Really, really good.
I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. I think it has a lot of good action. I think there's a lot of fun like character matchups and everything. I like where the story. I definitely want to know where the story's going, but I definitely think the magic system's over complexities kind of drag it down when it has to go expo dumpy mode.
Okay, Matt.
Real quick, there's one thing that we all forgot to mention. I'm really shocked that you guys didn't. And honestly, it's a failure on all of your parts. And I'm considering that we should probably like shut down the channel.
Oh God!
You did not mention that that Joker himself was there. He was in the subway.
Wait, what?
It was Joker movie. Joker was in.
Am I missing something?
He was there.
He was like, yeah.
He was in the subway, which is appropriate.
Are you
too.
serious?
There was a random guy in a Joker costume. Yeah.
That is so
Oh, no,
funny. I missed that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Did any of you guys find where Waldo was?
No, was
Yeah.
there Waldo?
Yeah, there was a Waldo there.
Yeah. I like that so much. I like that the animators are having fun at least to some degree. You know, in between the 90 minutes of sleep and whatnot. Good for them.
I would have loved.
Okay. Sorry, go on.
I'm happy they left him alive, but I would have loved it so much. He was just like one of the dead bodies in the background.
I am actually okay. Real quick, just I forgot about this power thing too. Can they actually see? Can humans not see cursed spirits? Right?
No.
I think it varies. It seems like it varies because they're like only the humans who could see this curses to some degree were staying away or something like that. Yeah.
No, like some of them can, because I know like that one Maki, the girl with the glasses. Like there was that one staff girl who needed glasses to see curses. So.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I forgot about that. All right. It's really hard for me to rate this. I don't really know how to feel about it yet. I did enjoy it, but I'm gonna give it like a tentative 7 out of 10.
Dang.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I just thought it was like really slow at times, and I feel like it could do some like fixes with pacing, but of course like the animation's always really good.
Oh yeah.
And I think like the ideas and characters they do have are interesting. I just don't think they're always like utilized very well.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much what I would expect you to give it. When it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen as it is now, I'm only gonna start to get worried when you give it 6 or lower. But 7, yeah, I can see you giving it a 7.
I'm just like I literally felt like Matt dying inside when you said like this is peak Jujutsu Kaisen right
here. I cannot wait. Okay, they need to sell a little headphones that are Mecha Marvel.
Oh, they would. They would make so
it.
much money. Oh my god, that's so true.
Like, little earbuds. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god, I can't believe they haven't thought of that yet, or maybe they will. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that has been our review of episodes 5 through 12 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you for watching, and we'll just continue on, I guess, next time, 2 weeks from now. Hopefully, we'll continue from episode 13. Next week, hopefully, we'll be doing Superman. We have a lot of Superman episodes to do. So,
yep.
Thanks for
yeah.
watching and see you later. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.